Hello there! Later on this week, I will be unboxing all of my Funko Pops from storage and getting them out to display, going through them one by one, but that's not what we're here for today. All week long, we've been taking a look at Lego Star Wars Duels. And now, today is the day to compare every single duel Lego Star Wars have ever produced and find the best duel, full stop. The competitors for today's video are Ahsoka Tano's duel on Peridia, which you've now seen either on video or stream. If you stuck around this channel before, you'll also know that wasn't Ahsoka's first duel, because a few years ago, we got Ahsoka's duel on Mandalore. Ahsoka and Maul's duel on Mandalore. It was titled a bit simpler back then. Duel on Mandalore. Didn't need to use any names in the title, because Ahsoka Tano, I guess it was from the Ahsoka show, but I wouldn't necessarily say it's Ahsoka's duel. It felt more like Elsbeth, so maybe Morgan Elsbeth's Duel on Peridia is a better title, but then you don't have the name. We've also got a few other duels along the lines of the Mandalore. We had 3 years with 3 duels, including Mustafar and also Starkiller, which it's been a while for you sequel fans, so hopefully this is providing some entertaining content. But all the way back in 2013, we got a duel on Geonosis with Yoda, with Dooku, with Poggle the Lesser, and a little droid. So you really couldn't ask for much more. All minifigures to this set are technically exclusive. I'm sure this is going to bode well for it in the comparison, but I'm going to try to be as fair as I can. It will be brief. It will be brief because we've already looked at all of these individually, and I'll probably create a playlist for you to follow through, leaving it on the end screen. But we're going to start off with the very first set, the duel on Geonosis, which, if you didn't see the video, let me show you this Yoda play feature. With a few technic elements, Yoda can be jumping around, doing flips, tricks, and all sorts of skills around the Dooku minifigure, which is also included in the set and is actually quite expensive considering Lego haven't given us one for quite some time. But hopefully there is rumor of a Dooku set this year, so the price might plummet towards the end. But Yoda can do that Palpatine move, completely destroying Dooku, and I think that is the most funnest play feature out of all 5 of these sets, and it's not the only one. You can check out the full video for like all 4, 5 play features. In fact, we also missed one where the wall explodes. So there are play features really coming out of our ears here. Not literally out of our ears, but it's an expression just to say there's a load of play features, and that bodes really well for it, as well as the speeder being included. A little side build similar to Maul's little prison that we get with the Mandalore duel. But it feels like a really nice set. Would have retailed for a decently higher price, which hopefully we could get a bit cheaper if they didn't include the very long boarding ramp at the end here, which does actually cost a lot. It's a 8x16 tiles. Tiles alone are expensive. But this is definitely best duel material. It folds up for ease of transportation. That ramp is really the only con I have with the set, which isn't the same that can be said about Starkiller Base. Okay, the planet is called Starkiller Base rather than Ilum, which is what the planet was formerly known as. But I still think Starkiller Base, Duel on Starkiller, is just so much smoother, and I don't think anyone's going to be confusing Ilum with the character from the Force Unleashed games. The one thing I will say is I don't like the fact that when it folds up, it doesn't look good. You've got Rey and Kylo completely on other ends of the display, and the wall really does break it up. Lego should have connected a bit more smoothly these two sides. So I'm actually going to put this in the battle for worst duel playsets. I'm not outright saying it's the worst right now. I know there's another set that's going to be included. So far, this is definitely best. This is worst, and we'll see where the other 3 fit. For Mandalore, Mandalore's going in this worst as well. It's very small. It's concise, and for that reason, it was pretty cheap, but it was also around the similar price to Starkiller and Mustafar. A little cheaper. But for what we get in, a lot of the bricks have gone into this little case, which I 3D printed my own for. And I really think out of all the brand new Lego elements they're introducing for playsets, this needed a new element and could have just been one custom piece. Yes, it would have raised the price a little bit, considering it's only 1 or 3 elements, maybe even 4 elements. But at least it's not taking up like 20 elements, which is almost as much as go into this wall. The play feature that we do have with the wall breaking back is nice, but it just feels a little bit small. And I wonder how many of you that picked up the set still have it built today. And perhaps some of you have built an entire Mandalore mock using this set, but the ones I've seen have opted to go with a complete custom chair, which does look a little bit better. So battling it off for worst place, we do have Mandalore and Starkiller. Where does Mustafar fall? I think Mustafar is a decent... It's very red, very orange, and I feel like Lego struggled putting the lava together. It's a decent build, but compared to other sets we've got for Mustafar and some of the mocks we've made here on the channel and you can find elsewhere here on the platform, I think it's a mediocre set. It's a decent set. The minifigures were all right, but I also feel like this set is potentially wasted space. We got Kenobi in Grievous's Starfighter. Anakin came in the Eater, and whilst the minifigures weren't accurate, this does feel like just another product to fill shelf space. And if I had picked up that Grievous Starfighter to get Kenobi, I wonder if I'd even have the pieces in my hand. So it's not bad. It's not terrible, but it's just... Which is why this one's going straight in the middle, and Duel on Peridia is dueling it out for first place. You've seen just a few of the things that this mock can do, and I have altered it quite a little bit to get some of the play features working, because you might remember in the stream, Ezra was not going anywhere and definitely wasn't making the jump to the Chimera. Like with all the minifigures, we've added a few to this display. I'm going to try to push those aside, but because we have had to modify the Duel on Peridia for it to look as good as it does, I don't think there's many. One modification that I really do want to make, and I definitely will be making, is having a retractable loading ramp here. Whether it's folding up, whether they had a base to it and the ramp could slide under. I really just want it. It's a little bit of an eyesore compared to what I'd like. I'd like just to have the arch and the rest of it displayed without having the ramp, even a Technic pin that can just pop it off like the home one displayed behind me. That's the only negative point. And the fact that the only negative point is one big tile, I think we found our winner of the video. But don't go anywhere yet, because we still have the battle for worst. So in first place, we have the Duel on Geonosis, which is from 2013 and is actually the older of the set. Ahsoka's Duel on Peridia comes in very, very close. There's a few very interesting decisions from Lego here, and a few choices that I definitely wouldn't make if I were to build this my own. But you've already seen that there's a short out. You don't even need to watch a full video. 60 seconds tops with the 5 improvements you need, and I'll also leave that on the end screen. Mustafar, pretty decent set. There's not much wrong with it. I do feel like it was just a space filler though, and now battling out for worst place, first place, second place, third place, and in fourth place, I think I'm going to have to go with Starkiller base. Even though there's not a base and it does look weird, there's still a few play features with the trees that can fall down, and I do like the fact there is some dueling mechanism. Kenobi and Anakin are able to duel. Ahsoka and Elsbeth are able to duel. Yoda and Dooku are able to duel. Rey and Kylo, even though it's an awkward play feature if you are playing with someone else, they're able to duel. Ahsoka and Maul, you're able to lock Maul up in prison. I guess you could probably sit Ahsoka or Maul and try and fling them through the window. There's no feature for that. The window just drops down and shatters. And that is the worst Lego Star Wars Duel. But just because it's the worst, it doesn't mean it's bad. It's still pretty good for the minifigures. Similar to Kenobi and Anakin, if you are going to make the case of minifigures, Rey was available in a few other sets. Kylo wasn't available, was exclusive to this set. But we got a ton of Kylos that you can mix and match to get one looking similar. Ahsoka was also in an AAT, and Maul was in a magazine, which is even more accessible than any of the other mini... I guess Sabine was in a magazine. Let's hide her. Even more accessible than any of the other minifigures you can see on the table here. And I really think Lego perhaps should have tried this for a diorama instead. We've also built a diorama here on the channel. 3 videos on the end screen. Absolutely crazy. Pick the one you want. And if you don't want any, check out the best video. It'll be in the bottom right corner of your screen. But that is all for today. Do you agree with this choice? How would you rank them? Let me know down in the comments. And may the bricks be with you always.